is a test of the emergency broadcast system.
This is only a test.
DJs and MCs. This DJ, he gets down.
Listen to this disc jockey's introduction to
Two DJs and a mic with your host, DJ Mike.
Is that a timetable?
And DJ JP.
Well, get on it. It's your time.
Give me the mic.
Okay, welcome to another episode of Two DJs and One Mic with the infamous DJ JP and myself, DJ Mike. We are blessed. We are so blessed to have Paige with us today.
Paige from Pyrotex.
Pyrotex, yes. Yes, how you doing, Paige?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, thank you for joining us. It's always an honor. Go ahead.
And right before we get into the show, we have to, of course, thank our sponsor. KERA Live is now the official sponsor of Two DJs and One Mic podcast. Looking for a perfect photo booth software, 360 software? Look no further than KERA Live. my.curator.live.com. Tell James we sent you and use KERA Live for your photo booths.
Yes, always.
Always.
Always live. Curator. Yes. So, okay, Paige. Well, we're honored to have you on the show. We look to have fun. We want to create fireworks like you have in the background. Yeah. So, jumping into the interview, tell us about your family, your high school sweetheart, the two incredible teens, and your lovely bunch of fairy friends.
Well, as those of you that have kids know, raising teenagers is, a full-time job, but mine are luckily the best teenagers in the world. So I'm very blessed to have two children. One's a junior and one is a senior. So I have a boy and a girl. So my senior is less than a month away from graduation, which is, as a mom, it's hard. It's a hard year. And then I get to do it all over next year. So
Lucky you.
It's just a flurry of excitement around here. But my husband and I did meet actually in fourth grade.
Oh my God.
We were in orchestra together, and I played the violin and he played the cello.
Okay. Y'all was right there in the same section.
Wow.
So he was at my school for about 2 years, and then he went to private school. So he was a Jesuit boy. And one of my friends who lived across the street from me also went to Mary Immaculate with him during elementary school. And so we just stayed connected throughout junior high and high school. And what's funny is we actually went on a double date, I think sophomore year to homecoming. He went with my best friend. I went with his best friend, and they ended up being our best man and matron of honor at our wedding.
Did they get married?
No, they did not. No.
Wow.
Wow. That is, hey.
So
wow.
A whole night.
Yes. Do y'all have any inside jokes about that?
Lots. Actually, our theme for our wedding was forever and ever, or until we find someone better.
Oh my
So we're actually going to be
later.
we're going to be celebrating our 20th year of marriage.
Congratulations. Wow.
Together for 9 years when we got married. So
wow.
It's been a long ride. And then we're really big on our pets, for those who know me. So we've actually got a Great Dane, a Lab, and a Chihuahua Terrier thing. Way too many cats, a turtle, and a ferret. I was trying to think of what the other thing was. Yes, so we have a ferret running around. But we've had ducks and guinea hens and my husband had an owl growing up. We've had rabbits. We've had
They got a private exotic zoo.
all
Wow.
sorts of little critters. So
Yes, little critters.
yeah, and unfortunately, it's not like we go out and find them. They seem to find us. So
Well,
yeah.
they telling everybody that. The family down there on the corner, they will feed you.
Yes, let's go down there to the.
So yeah, it's a zoo literally at our house. But it's fun. We have a good time.
All right. Yeah. All right, we'll jump into this next one. So when and how did you get into Pyrotex?
So and I was gonna say, stop me if I'm just rattling on.
Oh no, we got you. We got you.
I could rattle on about all these topics.
Yeah.
So I had actually been a stay-at-home mom. I was in corporate America when I had both of my children, and I had the opportunity to be a stay-at-home mom for a little while, which was not my jam. I'm just not cut out to be the stay-at-home mom. So I was doing some little side gigs while my kids were growing up. And I started in the events industry with a company called Time Capsule Media. That was a company that I founded when my daughter was a year old. And I was basically doing the slideshows that people show at their receptions of their baby pictures growing up, that kind of thing. And I met some people at a bridal show. And they introduced me to what was then Collin County Event Professionals, which doesn't exist anymore. But I very quickly got on the board there. And then I was introduced to what was ISIS back in the day. It's now ILEA. So it was the International Special Events Society back then. And that's where I met Randy Beckham, who was the original founder of Pyrotex. And when my daughter went to kindergarten, both my kids were in school at that point, I was looking for a jobby job. And I went back to corporate America to interview, and it was awful. They were like, it's Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. You can't take off for anything. And I was like, what? What? I need to take off. I'm a mom. I have little kids, whatever. So I put on Facebook. I went home from this interview crying, basically, put on Facebook that I was looking for something, hopefully that I could do from home. I'd love to stay in the industry. And Randy just happened to be hiring a salesperson at the time. So he brought me on as his sales girl. And then I got a promotion to sales princess and sales queen. Because I'm the only salesperson in the company, so there's really not anywhere to go. However, unfortunately, Randy passed away in 2017.
Oh, sorry.
He willed the company to me, the general manager and production manager. So now we are all co-owners.
Wow.
Which to us meant signing a piece of paper and getting on with our regular jobs. So I'm still the only salesperson for the company. And
really?
Yeah, it's just me. And it's fun. It's so exciting. It's so rewarding. We're kind of like a little dysfunctional family. Everybody always thinks that like Derek, who's our general manager, is my husband, and that Randy, actually people thought Randy was my husband at one point, but he was significantly older than me. So no, not my husband. We would get husband, we would get father-daughter at times. But no one's related, but we are just kind of a dysfunctional family that love and hate each other all at the same time. So
with you being the only salesperson, how many events do y'all do a year, or do most of them repeat customers so you don't have to deal with them, or how does that work?
Oh no, I still deal with them.
Well, I'm just saying it's not quite the same when you start from the beginning. They just come back in and renew their contract.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and luckily that's kind of how our company runs, is we're very word of mouth. So a lot of our repeat customers are venues or wedding planners or corporate event planners. So we do have that where we just have people that call us and use us pretty much exclusively. And then of course, 4th of July, we have some people that have been with us for over 20, 30 years. We're actually the oldest Texas-based company. So we started in 1979. Our first client was actually the Bee Gees.
Oh,
If
wow.
you might know of who that is.
Yeah, we know who that is. We know who that is.
So yeah, we actually started as a concert pyrotechnician company, and we only did concerts and indoor pyro for about the first 15 years, and then started July in the 90s. And so we have some cities, like the city of Carrollton, that we've pretty much been doing them every year since the early 90s. So they've been with us for over 30 years. I actually grew up sitting on the roof of my house in Carrollton, watching a Pyrotex show, unbeknownst to me. So it's fun. And then as far as new sales, I mean, I just, of course, network. Y'all know that I'm the networking guru freak. I don't know.
We're gonna get to that.
I'm obsessed with the networking. So networking is really my biggest thing. But I do, whenever I find a new venue, I try to reach out to them. Same thing with planners, and just different opportunities. I actually went the other day to a Dallas Film Commission event, which was super fun because I would love to get us back into doing more concerts, doing more theater and film that we used to do back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Let me ask you a side note question.
Yeah.
For those that are listening now and will listen later,
Mhm.
can you tell them what Pyrotex is? What do your company do?
So we blow shit up. Sorry. if I can say cuss words.
No,
You
I just
good.
blew up.
No, boom. Guess who stepped in the room?
It's just an easy elevator pitch. So yes, so we are pretty much strictly a pyrotechnic and special effects company. So we mainly do aerial fireworks, indoor pyrotechnics, but we I'd say recently, but after Randy passed away, we expanded to offer dancing on a cloud, confetti cannons, bubble machines, and we just recently brought on smoke mines, which are kind of referred to as daytime fireworks. So they are colored smoke that shoot about 100 feet in the air and just give a really cool boom finale to some daytime events, gender reveals, that kind of thing. So that's been fun.
So she's just answering our questions as we go. She's
sorry.
guiding the interview. Yeah. So it's called what is it called again?
So they're called smoke mines.
Say it again.
They're called smoke mines.
Smoke mines. Okay.
Yeah.
And they literally just shoot kind of like a Halley's Comet. They don't break like fireworks, although we do have a few boxes that can. But for the most part, they're just colored smoke that shoot up in the air about 100 feet. And we mix it with crackle and glitter mines as well, just to add some oomph to it. And we've used it for Six Flags ride opening when they just opened the new Aquaman. We use them there. We use them for their Dirk Nowitzki statue reveal on Christmas Day 2 years ago. And then we've used them for a few weddings as well. So
cool.
It's been fun.
No gender reveals yet? Are you doing it for gender reveals?
No, we did a fireworks show recently for a gender reveal, where the finale was all blue. It was a boy. But we have not had the smoke mines for the gender reveal quite yet.
Smoke mines. Remember that, people. Smoke mines.
So you kind of answered this question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. So you guys haven't always been in the wedding industry, right?
So we have not. Like I said, we started out as a concert pyrotechnician company. We are actually the pyro in the movie Pure Country with George Strait. We were the pyro in Leap of Faith with Steve Martin. You can actually see Randy in that one if you look really closely at the stage. And we've done television shows, and like my first show actually was Extreme Makeover Home Edition.
Oh wow.
When I first started with the company, so that was fun. But we've done documentaries, that kind of thing as well. And really it's just recent that we've always done weddings kind of here and there, but it's just been recent that weddings have exploded, no pun intended. But it seems like after COVID, just everyone wanted something bigger and something more exciting. And
They just wanted to blow things up, right?
yeah, so we do a lot of weddings. But I must say, I kind of made a mental list the other day in my head. The only thing I think we have not done is a divorce party.
Whoa.
Well, we don't want to do those anyway.
Hey, no, that's it. I'm
I
just
know,
saying, it's blowing up.
Well, yeah, you're right. It's blowing up. Yeah, you might as well finish it off. Kaboom.
Exactly. But we've done gender reveals, we've done weddings, of course, mitzvahs, quinceañeras, baby's first birthday, baby's second birthday, because some people have way too much money. Anniversary parties. We've done 2 funerals. So I think a divorce party is the only thing that we have not done.
We've done proms because me and you've done
we have
together.
done proms.
We've done proms together. Yeah.
Yes, we actually have 2 this weekend. So
yeah. So yeah, we've done quite a few things. Weddings, proms. I don't know what else we've done, but I know we've done like 3 or 4 different things together. Open houses, you name it. We what was that? Dallas Oasis. We did that one together. Yeah. So yeah, we've done quite a few things together. I didn't even think about that. I said I've worked with Paige quite a few times.
So do you do any July the 4th celebrations?
Oh my gosh.
We do a couple. This year we are doing 10 shows on the 4th itself.
Yeah.
We normally do about 30 to 35 shows that way.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. What day is the 4th on this year? I can't remember.
It is a Thursday this year.
It's a Thursday.
Well, that's kind of good because it doesn't fall too far away from the weekend.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I mean, I guess if it's further in the week, that gives you more shows to do, or it depends on.
Kind of. A lot of our cities pushed to the 29th this year, which is Saturday. So we have a lot of shows Saturday, and then we have basically the 3rd and 4th. Like a lot of our shows that are normally on the 2nd pushed to Saturday or backed up to Saturday. So
what's the biggest show y'all doing this year?
So Greenville's a really big show, the city of Greenville. But my personal show is Dallas Country Club, and that one's probably one of our bigger shows as well. So, and then the city of Allen's going to be new to us this year.
So, what does one of these beautiful, magnificent fireworks shows cost? Average.
Whoa!
I'm just asking. I mean,
it goes there. So
range. You don't have to give me a number. Just give me a range between $1 and $55,000. You know?
It's definitely between $1. Our aerial fireworks shows for like weddings start at $3,600. And our shows go up. I think our highest is about 60,000.
Okay, I was right. $1 and 55. I was a little low. I came in a little low, but that's not bad. You pay for what you want, like you say. People. Yeah, I've seen some huge ones. I've seen some small ones. I've seen a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
definitely. And it's not unheard of. I've had a lot of people, especially for like weddings and corporate events. They're like, oh, we don't have money for a fireworks show, or they think it's going to be for the $1 million wedding. And I've had fireworks shows at complete DIY weddings where fireworks were just the most important thing to the couple.
Oh yeah.
And but they literally DIY'd everything else, had the friend DJ, had the friend photographer. But they spent $5,000 on fireworks because they wanted multiple effects.
That's the one thing about the industry is you never know what's important to a couple. Because I've been to some lately where the flowers are like this. And the food was great. Then the flowers were great, and we had hors d'oeuvres, heavy hors d'oeuvres. So every bride is different, and what we think is important to everybody is not always important to that person. You just have to know what's important to them.
Yeah, you have to find out what their preferences are.
Yeah,
and I'm just saying this is a first for me because I was not aware that you had companies such as yours out there just blowing stuff up. People always say they're about to blow up, but
They are actually blowing up.
Yeah.
We are blowing
I think
stuff
the
up.
first time I worked with Paige or her company, I was still working for Double D Ranch.
Oh
And
my
that-
goodness.
yeah,
Yeah.
you remember how long that's been?
Why?
Yeah, that's been a while because DD
Wow.
Ranch been closed about 10, 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I started with Pyrotex in 2011. So I'll be celebrating 13 years with the
Yeah,
company.
maybe it was right around that time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations coming up.
Yeah, it was around, I don't know, because I forgot when Ted closed the ranch, but I know you called me and you had two of your people out there. And it was for that, I think it was Arabic family, or they threw that big thing every year and they had a big old fireworks show because I did it like 2 years with you. So
Yeah.
with your company. So wow, man, I started thinking back. I didn't work with Paige a lot, and I didn't even realize it. I mean, not a lot, but I've done
getting
quite a
old.
few. Yeah,
Starting
I've
to see
done
the
a
gray
few
hair.
events for her.
Yeah.
God, man, yeah. So that's
Calm
cool.
down.
Okay, all right.
So let me ask you this here. What is it about this industry that keeps you thriving and keep you in it? You know, why are you still selling for Pyrotex outside of you being an owner?
Well, yeah, now I'm stuck here. But for as far as the fireworks go, that's a whole other thing. I just love them. I have, after 13 years, I have not gotten tired of watching a fireworks show. I will go watch fireworks shows. My husband makes fun of me. I will go watch fireworks shows even if I'm not working the fireworks show, because I just think they're magical. I think they're great. And even I've watched other companies' fireworks shows as well. Just to see what's the difference, what's new, what's, what do they do that we might not do? What do we do that they don't do? And I think that keeps you fresh and keeps you knowing how to sell, and of course knowing what your competition is doing as well. As far as the industry though, I just love it. And that's why, I had said whenever I got hired on by Randy, I had said, I'd love to stay in the industry. And I was just starting out at that point, but I had already been, like, I was actually getting on the board of ISIS at the time. So that was going to be my second board. I am currently on my 8th board of directors. And that's the thing that I love. I love the community. I love working with people. I love watching people's businesses grow. That's kind of my give back to the industry, is talking to other event professionals about networking, about their business, about the best place for them, about how they can grow their business. And I just love watching people change and evolve and seeing new things that come into the industry that you wouldn't even think of. I go to talk to college students and even high school students that are looking to get into hospitality, and they always either want to be a wedding planner or they want to work for a hotel. And I'm like, y'all, there's a million other things. Like, there's literally a person who does popsicles. There's a person who does cotton candy. There's a person who does churros or whatever, little donuts. And I keep telling them, like, there might be something that no one's even ever thought of before that you can bring into this industry and make a huge impact.
Wow.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And
wow. Go ahead.
I was just saying, it just, hearing what you said about some of the youths, want to be planners and different things, and it's just amazing how we only know what is presented to us.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us don't know how to reach inside of ourselves and be creative and go make something.
Mm-hmm.
We allow ourselves to only follow and not lead.
Right.
A lot of people do.
And it's, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like when you say that, and to me, one of the biggest things is to not be informed, because not being informed just puts you in such a small box.
And you know what's definitely going to make the highlight reel for us?
What?
When she said that I go and see other people and
Oh,
learn what's new, what's different, what we can do better. What everybody in each industry needs to do that. So, I mean, she said, what are they doing different that we're not doing? I mean, that was a gem right there.
Oh, very, very much.
Well, and even sitting down with your competitors. I had a friend who became president of one of my competitors, and she was lovely enough to call me before she put it out there in the cosmos that she had taken this job, just to let me know. And we had 3 lunches together where I was like, here's what happens. Here's what the industry's doing, just kind of getting her up to speed, because she had been in the industry, but hadn't been in the firework industry in the past. So, there's enough, like they say, collaboration over competition. There's enough work to go around. You need someone to refer to if you are busy or you are booked that day, especially for people that have a one-off, like DJs, photographers that are solo entrepreneurs, and they can only do one event a day. It's crucial to have somebody that you trust that you can refer to, and look around. And I always tell people, especially on DFW Industry Friends, I have people that will come on to DFW Industry Friends and try to advertise. And that's one thing that we just draw the line at. You are not allowed to advertise. And they kind of throw a little hissy fit and they say, well, how am I supposed to put myself out there? And I say, well, I answer questions probably 10 times a day on that Facebook group that have nothing to do with fireworks. And it's just because I listen and I go to Party Fest and I see what's coming. They always say that the trends start from the outside of the United States and come in. So Texas might be the last to learn about things, but
I hope not. But,
but look at things that are starting in California or starting in New York, and see what those trends are that are coming down the pike. So I talk to people across the globe, luckily in being really involved in groups like Meeting Professionals International. Oh, hi, Laura. Laura is one of my, so sorry, y'all.
Come out. You can't get distracted in the middle of the show.
Hey, let her be herself.
No, Paige.
Do you?
It's okay to speak, but you don't need to
Hey, that's genuine.
I know, I'm just kidding. It's all right.
So,
hey, Lauren, how you doing? Laura, how you doing, girl?
In addition to being way too involved in networking groups in the industry,
yes,
I am also the Theater Booster Club president and be the president for next year. And so Laura is one of my Booster Club moms for theater. So
my gosh. All right.
You are a serial board member.
Yes.
I am a serial board member. But yes, so like I was saying, just learn about things that are coming in and start sharing that information with others. And that's how you get your name out there. It has nothing to do with pushing your product. No. It has to do with,
especially among other vendors. Yeah, you might collaborate with some people, but you need to be touching clients.
Well, and another thing that I would say to add to that I think we take for granted is, actually meeting new people and learning how to collaborate and be in other circles outside of the ones that you just feel comfortable in.
Don't jump ahead. Okay, we're going to ask this question. You've already name dropped a few things, but tell us about some of the amazing events that you've had the privilege of working over your life, over your time.
So, of course, Extreme Makeover Home Edition was awesome. Just
because with Todd?
I was such a Ty Pennington fan, I must say. And so it was so fun. We got to see Exhibit.
Yes, too. Yeah. I mean, me and my wife used to watch that on Sundays. I love that show, man. It was tearjerker. I cried almost every reveal and everything.
I can see it.
It was super fun.
It was a good show.
Yeah. And I must say that they do build the house in 7 days. But the rest of it's kind of the magic of television, as far as we moved that bus about 50 million times before the actual bus moved.
Yes.
We were so tired of saying move that bus by the end of it. But yes, so that was super exciting. We've spent the last, I think we're at 3 years now, doing shows with Dude Perfect for their Amazon Prime simulcast. So that's super fun. Just being able to hang out with the dudes. And
do they have that? They have that somewhere here?
Yeah, they're actually in Frisco.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So so they're fun. And we've done different, I would say little concerts, but they're mainly events that that cool people come into. So like Casey and the Sunshine Band and Vanilla Ice. And Vanilla Ice, actually, I was a Carrollton Farmers Branch child. So I went to Newman Smith, but my brother actually went to junior high with Vanilla Ice. And then Vanilla Ice went to Turner, which was our rival school. And so whenever he was doing the concert, he came backstage to do a little meet and greet. And the entire time that he was doing his sound check, it was like, go Turner, Farmers Branch in the house, go Zion.
Never forget where you came from.
So I went up to him and I was like, I must say, go Trojans. And he was like, oh, we got a Smither in the house. So it was
ice baby.
It was fun. So yeah, I enjoy doing that, but I also enjoy the little things. Like we had a couple who was supposed to get married in Disney, and because of COVID couldn't. So we actually recreated the Illumination Epcot show for them at their wedding venue. So we just like it when people are creative and we can do different things. And then theater productions. I mean, I'm a theater girl at heart, so theater productions are super fun to do as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything new and different we can do that's not Katy Perry or 24 Karat Magic in the Sky. If I hear those songs ever again, it'll be too soon.
Okay, we're gonna be creative. Do my boo thing.
Yeah.
All right, so we have to touch on this subject, and because the DJs for some reason feel like, oh my God, this, yep. But I mean, I'm gonna be totally transparent. At first, I was like, man, why is Paige giving us so much hell about this? And then, one day I sat down to myself and I said, you know what? Paige is absolutely correct. If you're going to do it, you got to do it the right way. She ain't doing nothing but telling us the truth and trying to keep us from getting in trouble.
Yeah.
So,
well, and when I, because I actually, it was a few years before I got my license. Of course, our crews were licensed. We had other people in our company that were licensed, and I just don't like taking tests. So it took me a couple of years to actually go and take my test to get my license myself. And when I did, I made a Facebook post basically offering my Quizlet and my cards and the links to get your test. And my husband said it was very passive aggressive. But I was like, no, I don't care that I have competition. I care if someone burns down a venue that I've been exclusive at for the most part, or preferred at, and now I can't ever work there again just because somebody else messed it up. And that has happened multiple times in just the Dallas area. So it's not for, me just being like, hey, you need to hire us because we know what we're doing. It's no, everyone knows, because at this point, everyone, at least people who are in the know and, on DFW Industry Friends and friends with me on Facebook, they've heard my speech. They've heard my lecture multiple times.
But let me interrupt you for. But it's funny though, because we had you come out and talk to everybody at the thing and tell everybody what the requirements was, and then people still try to play dumb and say they don't know and this and that and the other. And so somebody hit me the other day. You know what I did? I reached out to Paige. Okay, we're going to bring Paige on so she can talk about it once again and tell y'all what's required. Paige is not trying to hate, not trying to do anything to y'all. She just wants y'all to do it the right way for the whole industry, because if you do it wrong and you burn up somebody's building, you don't have any insurance. And, not trying to be nasty or anything. So I just said, okay, y'all want to say something? So let me reach out to Paige and we'll have her on the show. And it's going great. So talk to the people.
Thank you. So when we had actually heard about the Spark units at a special effects trade show, and it was years and years and years before they even kind of came out where people were starting to get them. So we had seen them. And at that time we were using sparkle fountains indoors for weddings. We'd been using sparkle fountains indoors since 1979. So, not a big deal. We can continue to use sparkle fountains indoors. And we saw this product. The people selling the product said, you don't need permits. You don't need, licenses. You don't need any of this stuff. You can just use them. And so we were like, super, like it's going to be cheaper for our clients. These can pop multiple times. Yay. So we came back, and the first thing we did before we made a purchase was to call the Dallas Fire Marshal, because at the time she was kind of the end all be all. And we asked her, and she said, okay, so it's a granule that goes inside a box, and then it sets on fire, and then it blows out of the box. And we were like, well, yeah, basically. And she was like, okay, not just no, but heck no. I am not allowing those anywhere in my city. So we didn't buy them. And truthfully, even when they got regulated by the state of Texas, we still fought it. And we didn't purchase them until I had actually gone to talk to a production company about partnering with some things. And they had mentioned that they had bought these spark units. And I said, well, cool. Who's licensed? And they were like, huh? And I said, yeah, you have to get a license and have the permits and blah, 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 blah. And they were like, oh, well, do you just want them? And we'll just refer them to you. So we actually bought them from them. And started.
Which ones did you buy from them?
What did we? Yeah, that's Sparktaculars. We have Sparktaculars.
Okay, all right.
And so we didn't fight it anymore. We got them because we were like, they do have their place if we're doing especially corporate events where we want to pop them multiple times, that kind of thing. So we took them on. Well, then I noticed that, yeah, people were still using them. And at first I could understand why, because they were sold as a non-pyro item. So if you don't look any further than who's selling them to you, then you're going to take that as gospel truth.
Yeah, and that was the wolf ticket that I was sold. Okay, you don't have to have anything. You don't have to have no license. They're this, they're that. And I was like, okay, well, good. I'll get mine. I'll do my thing, and I ain't going to worry about it.
Yeah.
And then, once I found out, I said, okay, I'm out until I decide to get my license. Because I can't. I got to tell everybody, your reputation is hard to build. It's easy to get jacked up. And all it takes is one bad thing. So, but go ahead.
It's just so easy. I mean, it really is so easy. There's tons of Quizlets online, or tons of Quizlets on the app that people have already made, even if you don't want to read the regulations, because I don't like reading. But I created a Quizlet while I was reading it, just so I could have it for my crews, anyone who wanted to take their test, and just make it a little bit easier for them. But there's Quizlets, there's study guides, and so you take a test. You literally just take one test. You have to be fingerprinted through the state. And that's it. You take the test one time and you never have to take it again. You just have to renew every year. And then you contact the fire marshal. And if you need help, I have people that call me. I have competitors that call me all the time asking me for, fire marshal contacts, or how do I get this permit, or what are the regulations for this city? Because it does change from city to city.
Oh boy, does it change.
And sometimes it changes from venue to venue. And so, I'm happy to talk to people about that, just because, like I said, we've had multiple venues that have been damaged, and I've had at least 2 venues in the DFW area that we worked in all the time, and then somebody messed it up. The bad apple spoiled the bunch, and now they won't even let me in because they've canceled pyro completely anywhere on their property.
And I think you can look at it like this. Say you a DJ and you're not licensed, and you go in and mess up somebody's wedding. And then you mess it up where no other DJs can DJ at that venue for anybody's wedding. And that's really all you're trying to spread. And if we all look at it like that, the better we'll be. Because man, I would hate for somebody to do that. And we got a question from the great Kevin Pitts. And one DJ we met in New York, really great guy. So he has a question. How much
from New York? We met him.
We met him in in Boston, but
Yeah.
he's from New York. How much does the insurance? How much did the
How much does this increase your insurance?
It's a total different insurance, right?
Yeah, well, so you do have to carry, all it says in the regulations for the state is you have to carry at least $1 million worth of liability insurance.
So you don't have to have pyrotechnic insurance?
No, you just have to have 1 million. That's all it says in the regulations is you have to have $1 million of liability insurance. Now, our insurance, and I must say, even if DJs do it, the insurance is going to be the difference as far as cost between us and somebody who has just regular run-of-the-mill insurance. Not that y'all's insurance is bad, but our pyro insurance is the second highest insurance rate. The first highest is miners because they have the explosives under the ground. But we have ridiculous cost insurance, and it went higher when that concert happened a couple of years ago where people got trampled. And it was just because they had a pyro element in the show that had not happened yet. And it wasn't us. P.S. It wasn't.
That was.
There was a pyro element in the show. So people, when they're going to sue people for any situation, they're going to sue everybody who could potentially have money. So that pyro company was part of the event. They were sued. And because of that, all of the insurance companies that insure pyro companies significantly raised our rates.
Yeah, and I will say this, guys, not everybody, like our insurance, they say they won't cover them. So I think State Farm and a few other people, if you have your DJ insurance through them, they do cover it. So make sure you do your research and don't go out there thinking you covered and you're not covered.
Mm-hmm. And there is, normally it comes with your spark units when you order them, but there is a training video as well. That is in addition to getting your regulations. Please watch the training video because it tells you little things like how far away you're supposed to be from pipe and drape, how far away you're supposed to be from flowers or pampas grass. Pampas grass is super flammable, y'all. Even though these things are called cold sparks, it was just a name that was coined. They are just as hot as sparkle fountains are. I mean, they can go up to about 1200 degrees. I think ours start burning around 600, or ours can start going at 600 degrees. Yep. So there's nothing cold about them. And if in the wrong hands for someone who's not trained and doesn't know the specifics around the safety distance requirements and that kind of thing, things can happen. So that's kind of a misnomer that they're called cold sparks, but it's what we got stuck with.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, now that we've got that was elephant out the room, we'll get into something a little bit more fun. Networking. You've been hitting on it all night. So why do you have such a passion for networking?
So I was a stay-at-home mom, like I mentioned. And so whenever I started, and I mean, the girls who are watching can kind of relate, and maybe dads too, but it was my me time, my time to be with adults, to have fun, to make friends. And so I just loved it. And the more that I did it, the more it just became, like you said, my passion. And I must say I'm a little nosy also. So I love being on the boards of directors.
I would say a lot nosy.
And see what's happening on the back end. But also it's kind of my give back. I mean, this is an industry that's done so much for me and my family that I want to give back to the industry as a whole. So just
the whole premises of this show is giving back to the industry, making the industry better than how we found it. So
exactly.
I like that.
Yeah. And plus, I mean, it does significantly grow your business, and it's probably the least expensive way to grow your business. You know, I've looked into event magazines and commercials and billboards and all of that, and you can spend a lot networking, I must say. If you're a member of everything and you go to all the lunches, it does get a little pricey, but it really is the best bang for your buck to get your name out there to all of these planners, corporate and wedding planners, that can be your cheerleader for you, and they can be your salesperson, and they'll go out and find you clients and they'll bring them to you. But also growing beyond your area. So like for y'all, not so much us because we kind of stay in Texas now. We used to be international back in the day, but now we just stick around here. But for people who can travel, who want to do destination weddings or destination events, to talk to people who are all over the country. I actually had a friend call me from California that needed some DJs, and she actually was looking for a DJ here, but ended up taking that DJ to another event that I think was like in South Carolina. And I was able to refer them to her. So
now that we've had you on the show.
Definitely. I mean, like I said, I've talked to people in Canada and Germany and England and Tokyo, and I love that. Whenever I go to national conferences, international conferences, I don't stick with the Dallas people. I see y'all all the time. I don't need to talk to y'all at every conference.
Oh my goodness.
But I will stick with the Boston chapter or the China chapter or the European chapter, just because it's fun. It's fun to meet these new people and see what they're doing and what's different and what tips they might have, not only for the business side of it, but also for our chapters as well, so we can strengthen our industry here at home.
Wow.
So
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Pop it up.
You made me.
I made him lose his thought. Was it a good question?
Of course it was.
Okay. All right. Think about it. So go ahead.
Oh my goodness.
Go ahead.
This is a loaded question, y'all.
No, how many networking organizations are you a part of, member of? What are some of the benefits of being a member of the different organizations? I mean, it's not really loaded. I mean, everything depends on what you do too, as far as it being beneficial for you.
Yeah. So I must say I have pared it down as far as organizations that I'm an official member of, just because again, it gets quite pricey to pay for the memberships every year. However, I have been on the boards for Collin County Event Professionals, ISIS, which is now ILEA, Texacom, Meeting Professionals International, DFW NACE. I'm currently on the WIPA board, which is the Wedding Industry Professional Association. I am currently the president of the Texas Live Events Coalition, which is not an organization per se like the other ones are, but it's the advocacy arm for the industry. So we advocate to the government. We actually got significant financial grants for businesses. We closer to 2020, we got a grant that offered people $30,000, which I can proudly say my company was one of the recipients of that grant. And they just had a grant go through that actually gave companies $250,000 each for a grant for people. It went in the first 15 minutes, and none of us that fought for it actually got it. Oh, wait, you went away. I can't hear you. Why can't I hear you? Can you hear me? It's so weird. I can't hear you anymore. Would you like me to just keep talking? Shake your head, yes. Okay. But y'all can hear me fine. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so I am currently helping out with that. And I have a great board that has been there since COVID started. That's when the Texas Live Events Coalition began. And we are proud to say that we are the only, I think one of the only states that is still active. And we are looking at laws that are coming through for small businesses that have to do with tax, that have to do with convention centers, anything that has to do with the industry as a whole, even the drag bill, which would have greatly affected our industry. So different things that we're looking at for that. And let's see what else. So I've been a member of Society of Wedding Professionals, and I've been a member of PWG, the Professional Wedding Guild of Fort Worth. And yeah, I've pretty much gone to, and then DFW Wedding Vendor Association isn't really a membership thing, but I go to that as much as I can because they meet in my neck of the woods. Vendor Alliance Association that Jeffrey's such a great leader of. And the new one, the Wise County Association as well. So that is a great new association that I'm looking forward to seeing what they do in the future. Oh, y'all are back. No, I still can't hear you. Why can't I hear y'all? So we are just having some technical difficulties. Anyway, so I'll just continue talking, y'all. And I hope that people can hear me. So if any of the event professionals that are listening tonight, even if you're outside of our local area,
all right, can y'all hear?
I can hear you.
All right,
yeah,
all right.
You're back. But yes, if you're outside of our local area, I have a list of all of the associations. A lot of them are international or national, so they might have a chapter in your area. Reach out to me and I'm happy to send you my list. So in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we are hovering around 30 associations that you could potentially be a part of.
And we have a meeting coming up this week, right?
You do? Do you? Yeah.
The president's group.
Oh, that I'm doing with everyone. So yes, on Thursday, the Global Meetings Industry Day. So Global Meetings Industry Day is actually an international holiday. It's an international celebration of the events industry.
I need to take off work then.
And you need to register if you've not already. You can register.
I'm already registered. I'm paid. I will be at Chicken and Pickle.
Perfect.
Yes, I will be there.
Register on the Texas Live Events Coalition website, and come on Thursday from 10 to 1. It's at Chicken and Pickle in Grapevine. And we are bringing together all of the associations. So all of the associations members were invited. People who are outside of membership were invited as well. And then MPI Global, who is doing a 24-hour simulcast, is going to be coming in and filming us as well. So we will go out to the masses all over the globe.
All right.
So come on out, wear your T-shirt of your association or your cool two DJs and a mic shirt. And represent.
I didn't think about that. I guess I will wear one of my association shirts. Maybe I'll wear 2 DJs and a mic so I can get some more guests on the show.
Definitely.
Yep. Mike, you got anything? Any questions for Paige? I know I'm sorry I interrupted you and lost your chain of thought. I'm so sorry. I mean,
he gets so excited about certain things and he develops tunnel vision.
Understand.
So you said some things about networking and the importance of it. You know, for those that really don't see why, because there's a lot of people that don't network, and they really don't see the connection. What is that connection? You know, for you, because you've been doing this for a while, and evidently there's something there that you see that keeps you doing it. And
so
go ahead.
So it's exponentially grown our business, and I've seen companies that are really involved in the industry and they do network and they get to a point where they have all the business that they want and they stop networking and everybody thinks that they died or dropped off the face of the earth. And they stop using their business and the new guy comes in and the new guy gets all the business. So there's always new people joining this industry, and these new people do want to network. They do want to, connect, and especially the new generation, they're all about the connection. And so they want to get in. And so if you don't network, or you don't, or you do network and then all of a sudden you drop out for whatever reason, then those other people are going to take your place, and they're going to do it very quickly. So for us, it's kind of a combination of the education that you receive, because all of these networking groups do have some sort of educational component at some point. So the education that you receive, supporting your fellow man. So, going to these venues, supporting the organizations. It's hard, y'all. Just doing this one event for Global Meetings Industry Day, it's hard to, put it out there and send emails and, put out
I think that's some of it. People don't realize how much work you put into trying to, if you're on the other end of trying to put stuff together, trying to bring people together, trying to do stuff. And then it becomes very discouraging when people don't support, and you do all this work to try to make, to try to help them, give them, a lot of times, especially DJ Crosstalk, most of it is free, or out of me and Gus's pocket, or out of Mike's pocket, or whoever's putting it on. And we're trying to do things to make the industry better, or make it better, or educate people, or give them nuggets, and they hardly show up. But then we want me to record it or live stream it. No, bring your butt out and fellowship and network. So I understand, and it's tough. And I appreciate your letter you put out every week with all the events, and it's just it's very discouraging. I'm trying not to get excited.
And I tell people, because I speak as well. So one of my topics is networking for introverts. And I tell people there are networking things, because of the power of technology, that you can do, that you don't have to get out of your house. You don't have to actually put pants on. You don't have to talk to people. You don't have to be the extrovert. People don't want to put on pants after COVID. So
okay. So many.
Wow. Okay. I hope they do. But
no,
I understand. You're right. A lot of people rather sit at the house and do nothing and not go anywhere, and just go work their event and go back home and don't feel like they have to do anything.
But there's things that you can do, like, get on, I'm a Facebook person, but get on Facebook, get on Instagram, get on LinkedIn, just network from there. And you can probably get as much business as you could if you did leave the house every day. Maybe not as much, but because you are still connecting with those people. Randy actually sat me down one time, because we would have these little sales talks. And he said, I see that you're selling shows. I see that the calendar's getting filled up with shows. I didn't have not like a typical salesperson. I didn't have a quota. I didn't need to, make my numbers or anything like that. As long as Randy saw shows coming in, he was happy. So he would say, he said, I see the shows coming in. I see that you're selling things, but I don't see on the calendar where you've gone to lunch with a planner or you've gone to see a new venue. He said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm doing this weekend networking. And he was like, what? I said, there's Facebook group. There's a lot of people on it. I made this post, which actually started because one of my friends was having an open house, and it was one of the rules in DFW Industry Friends that you couldn't advertise your open houses unless you were the venue itself. So he wasn't a venue. He was actually a photographer, and he was having an open house. And so I decided to do this weekly post that we had kind of been tossing around, just to advertise his open house for him. And then I did it the next week because a cake guy asked me to do it for his open house. And I actually looked the other day, and that person's open house was in 2015. So I've been doing this weekend networking for almost 10 years now.
So do you take a day off? Do you ever take a Monday off, or you try to do it?
No, because if I do, so I took 2 weeks ago, I took off because I was going to do it in the airport while we were waiting for the flight, but we were stuck in TSA too long and we almost missed the flight. So I didn't do it in the airport. So I decided to skip that Monday because there was really actually nothing going on. It was spring break. There was no industry events happening. Okay. So I skipped the week. I got so many calls.
I knew it.
Emails. It's crazy. And I'm like, y'all, I can take a day. But yeah, so I've been doing it literally every Monday for almost 10 years. And I said, I told Randy, I said, I'm just doing this post called This Week in Networking, and it has nothing to do with Pyrotex. It has nothing to do with our company. It has nothing to do with selling, but people see it, they appreciate it, and they look me up. I don't know.
I mean, because I'll cut and paste it and put it in DJ Crosstalk, and hopefully some people go see, do stuff. And then, I didn't know this was going on. Well, like they have a lot of breakfast things too in different areas. And if you look at that list, you can go have breakfast probably almost every day of the week with a different group if you really want to.
I used to go to 4 to 5 things a day when I was like really, really committed to going to things all the time. It's crazy, but also the list helps me, because sometimes I'll be doing the list and I'll be like, oh darn, I scheduled myself for an open house this Sunday and totally forgot about it or whatever. Plus people, I do encourage people to put comments of what else is happening that they might know of that I don't. And so there's some things that I'm like, oh cool, I want to go to that too. So
it's been very beneficial. But we got one last question for you.
Yeah.
So what is a gem that you're willing to leave us with?
Oh my goodness.
We know you've dropped so many, but you can pull one more out of it.
Or you can just roll back one.
Yeah.
So my motto that I always love is, you have freedom of choice, not freedom of consequence. I love that in so many ways, just because it can be so broad and yet, so specific. But same thing in this industry, when you are networking, when you are going out to talk to people, do it for the right reasons. And that the right reasons are different for everybody, but there are the wrong reasons. Don't just try to get business. Don't be self-absorbed. Don't just try to get awards. But realize why you're there. Figure out what your why is and focus on that whenever you go out, but also focus on the fact that there's other people, and how can you help them? How can you benefit others so that comes back to you tenfold?
Well, I would like to add something to that, Paige, because hearing you talk about it, networking, you said something that made me think about something. And that is, networking is not for everybody. And the reason why I say that is to the statement that you made about doing it for the right reason. You mentioned about a company was, they were networking, they got what they were trying to get, and they stopped and they lost some business. And what that tells me is that it was the right reason for the company, but it was the wrong reason.
Yeah.
Because if you have that type of personality where you like people and you like, conversing with people and offering something and not just taking something, then I think networking is a good thing for you, because you're not just taking away, you're adding to. And I think the power of networking is everybody coming together to offer something to help each other to get, to do something greater. And we know that that's not always the reason for some people. Some people are just there to, a snatch and grab, and then you don't see them anymore.
Right. Yeah. Don't just be throwing business cards at people, because no one wants that. But yeah, I mean, you can do the littlest thing for someone. They'll remember you, just like they say, friends buy from friends.
Yeah.
And it's true. They're gonna connect with you. You want to form those connections. I have people all the time that are like, what are the open houses that are coming up? And it's because they want to be a part of that open house. Well, that's not the way to do it. You have to form those relationships with
Organic is my word.
with those
Organic.
venue owners or with those planners who are organizing the open houses. And you do it that way. You don't just call and be like, hey, I want to be at your open house. I mean, they don't know you from Adam. So that's what the networking is all about. And like I said, you can do virtual networking or you can do in-person networking, but do something.
Put on some pants. Come on
Put
out.
on some pants.
Yeah, and I'll say this here. One of the things that I've learned from Jeff, Jeff does a lot of networking, but he does it for the right reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And how I know that is how people, how they treat him and how they respond to him. You know, it's one thing to just go and network with some people. It's another thing when you can ask for help and people are willing to help you for the right reason.
Right.
And to me, that says a lot about him,
Mm-hmm.
that he's doing it for the right reason. So,
Trying to.
yeah. Well, it's no try to it.
I
You
know.
can do it, though.
I'm doing it. But I'm blessed with all the great relationships like Paige. I didn't know how awesome she was until tonight. I mean, there's been other times where
Ish up.
I mean, I know, but I mean, no, she's done some other stuff, and I've heard her
Yeah.
speak, and then she came and presented at Crosstalk at Bella Luna, and you know, anytime I ask her, she doesn't say no. She just asks me when and where. So I love that about her. Hopefully, I can return the favor for her one day when she asks me to do something for her. And every time she sends me a track, I make sure I got my track and I hit play right on time so the fireworks and everything go off together. But we want to thank you for coming in and being a guest on the show. And
tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, where they can find. I'm sorry, we almost
Oh,
forgot.
no, you got it.
So I would say the one thing that I will ask is if you would share my chicken and pickle.
I've been sharing the chicken and pickle.
Please share my chicken and pickle. So there's, people can still register tomorrow. So please register. You can find me at www.pyrotex.com, and we are on all of the social media as Pyrotex US.
All right, from our friend from Canada, he said it was a good show. Keith. Yeah.
No pants.
No pants, Keith.
No pants, Keith.
Well, he can't go out the house anyway because it's about 4 up there. But hey, once again, thank you for coming on the show. We're gonna go out. We'll see y'all next week. Thank you. We'll see you around. I'll see you Thursday, as a matter of fact. Take care.
We're going out with a bang.
Bang.